the fastest way to blow up a brand is to say something in the marketplace, advertise something, and then as soon as they talk to an individual in the organization, if it doesn't match, I immediately don't have trust. I distrust the brand from that point. And so then it's a matter of like, it's cracked egg theory, right? I mean, I'm constantly examining the egg, thinking something's wrong, as opposed to, wow, this feels comfortable and I'm engaged and I like it.
I think there needs to be 3 key elements for the narrative to really survive. One is truth. It has to be factually correct. You can't, claim that you're something that you're not. That if you did, you would get yourself in legal trouble as well as brand trouble. But secondly, I think authenticity. It has to be believable. You can't position yourself as, the cutting edge of innovation, and then the place is completely dry and crusty, and there's no resource put towards innovation whatsoever. So there has to be an authenticity that the employees believe in and support. And I think thirdly, that there has to be a story that is relevant and of interest to stakeholders. There's no point in having a narrative that nobody cares about. So, because however much you live and breathe it, if nobody cares, what's the point? So we try and, we try and live that in terms of the way that we work with clients.
And this is just a crazy question, but Simon, have you ever worked with anybody and you said, "This is so boring. There's nothing of interest"?
Well,
we cannot find that position.
As you can imagine, working in financial technology, it can get challenging. There's always something, though. There's always some angle. The challenge is not necessarily finding the angle, but getting the enterprise, the people across the enterprise to buy into that and believe it. Because often they might be boring and they might not want to break the mold or to be too out there in terms of the way that their story is told. Just repeating what I was saying earlier, because they may believe that their product is good enough by itself. So why do we have to take the chance of, positioning ourselves in this way or that way?
Yeah, I've seen that so many times. So I can imagine. And you're being kind, because I know you've been in meetings where you've been like, "This is going to be hard."
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, it is hard because that's why we get paid. If it was too easy, we would just stick it into ChatGPT and the answer would come out, which does actually raise another point. AI, it seems at the moment that AI dulls a brand. It comes up with generic solutions. If you use AI to try and solve your brand issue, you're going to end up with something that sounds like everybody else. And in fact, we have hopefully a soon-to-be client that is a financial technology company that is looking to redefine its mission, vision, values, and they actually tried to use AI to do it and were very dissatisfied with the results that they got, so that they ended up speaking to some public relations agencies, including ourselves, because they were very dissatisfied with what I was just describing.
Yeah, I think I'm so glad you brought that up, because there is no shortage of information. And of course, AI can be a great thought partner, but you have to understand and discern when AI is just giving you what you want to hear and it's really homogenizing your brand. And I agree with that 1000%. There's if you just think about the point of the technology is to look across everything that is out there and give the next natural, most obvious answer. Relevant, but obvious, because it's looking for what's right.
Yes, we use AI primarily for 2 reasons. One is 2 uses. One is research. It's very good at helping you research particular subjects. And the second is drafting articles in terms of providing us with a starting point. Although we've actually experimented recently with doing it the other way around. We would write an article and then use AI to check to see if there are any flaws in the way it's structured or written to give us ideas. So kind of like the reverse approach. but we never use it to single-handedly write an article. Only potentially a first draft. But the research side, it can be tremendously time-saving. So that's especially valuable, we're finding.
Yeah, yeah. So let's assume that we agree with and believe that our narrative can actually become a moat, and it can be a strategic support tool. And we recognize that we need to make sure that that is true, authentic, and newsworthy.
Yes.
If I am thinking about that and I'm listening to you, I'm going to stop listening and I'm going to go do what? What should be the most immediate thing that I go do and put on my leaders list to take advantage of this information you've given?
I think there's another three things that rule of threes. There's another three things that we need to do in that situation as a company, as a technology firm, let's say, or a financial services firm. One is to make sure that your end goal is clear, your mission. So before you do any of this, make sure that you understand what you want to be when you grow up, as it were. What is the real goal of this? Well, how will success be defined in the future, in 2 or 3 years? What are you trying to do? Because if it's not aligned, then the rest won't matter. So firstly, determine your goals, make sure they're in writing and that everyone embraces them. Secondly, listen to the stakeholders, do the work, either internally or commission an agency to help you discover and unlock the uniqueness about your brand so that you can build a story around it and frame that story and build that out and do it properly. Spend time on it, spend a few months on it, spend some money on it, and really work hard at getting that story right that supports that end goal that you've established. And the third thing that you should do is put in place a plan, and activate a plan to evangelize that narrative, to make it real, to make it to go out there into the marketplace and make it happen. So those are three really key elements to it: determining the goals, determining the narrative, and then activating it. That's the way we would break it up.